everyone. 6 o'clock. Time for the 5th grade Kahoot. The final Kahoot with Miss Shay live. Woohoo! Yay! Final Miss Shay Kahoot. Going to be so fun. Woohoo! All right. Yeah. Got no viewers right now, but it's just now 6:01. We'll wait and see who is going to come and participate. Anybody? Anybody going to come and participate? Brandon, Miles, Alyssa, Charlotte. No, Elsie will not. Ooh, 2 viewers at once. Oh my goodness, it's very exciting. All right, 5th grade, chapter 5 review for your test on Friday. This is a very early Kahoot. But test on Friday. All right, so test on Friday. Give everybody a couple more minutes to come online, and then I will pull up the game and we will get started. Hope that you all did your questions that were there for you to make sure that you did your highlighted questions. So maybe 10 questions total between you all. Should be nice and simple. Should be a good time. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3, easy. And then we will have our Kahoot, and it will be amazing. The Kahoot amazingness, yes. Yes. Granny Tammy, come give a little goodbye. Whee!
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Granny Tammy. Maybe I can convince her to stop by one more time before school finishes. They tried to lock you in a closet today. That's what they were discussing.
Uh-oh.
They said, if you have to go, can Granny Tammy stay? We have a closet down the hallway.
Uh-oh.
So you better watch out. They're trying to kidnap Truffles.
I'm only closet worthy, huh?
For ransom. They're trying to kidnap me and break my legs. Trying to frame me for crimes I didn't commit. Anything to keep me in the States. So you better watch out, Granny Tammy.
All right.
Better watch out. 1 viewer. Who could this be? So yes, everything is pretty bald around here. Not a whole lot going on. Things kind of empty and messy. There's Mr. Steven, also sort of a little bald. No, just kidding. Oh, apparently my face is bald. And then our bed is on the floor now because its legs are over there. Everything is a bit of a mess around here at the Pepper House. Because this Sunday, we'll officially be homeless. Excuse me. We just had dinner. You can see Truffles in the background there on the bed. Truffy! Oh, there she is. Little leap in the background. All right, so I've got my 1 viewer. I'm going to give it another minute, and then we will play. I can't have just one person playing by themselves, so maybe I can convince Mr. Steven to play against you. He's giving me the side eye, but we'll see. Pretty generous fellow. For only 15 questions, I'm sure we could convince him. Truffy, where are you? Oh, you're on the floor now. She's running around. She's looking for her ball because Truffle's love language is ball. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the screen sharing so that you can see the Kahoot, and we will go ahead and get started. And like I said, I think I can probably convince Mr. Steven to play against you so we can find out if Mr. Steven is indeed smarter than a 5th grader. He needs 2 minutes, apparently, so we'll give him 2 minutes. All right, so the way that this is going to work is that we're going to have our Kahoot, and then I've got a few extra questions that are not in the Kahoot because they are those longer questions that we have sometimes towards the end of our test. So we'll have the Kahoot part with 15 questions, which are the multiple choice and the fill in the blank, and then we will have the other few questions which have more detailed answers. And so far, I think it's only 1 or 2 of them that we haven't actually gone over in class, and we'll be going over those tomorrow because remember, our test is on Friday. So you're getting a nice early Kahoot this time, okay? All right, so I'm gonna shift over. So Mr. Steven, he says, what do I need to do? You mean besides beating an amazing 5th graders? So Mr. Steven just asked what he needs to do. So I'm gonna get my phone out for him. Oh, there's my face really close. Hello. Okay, so let me pull up Kahoot for Mr. Steven. It's very simple, Mr. Steven. You need to come and answer the questions, and then When you're ready there, you're going to put your game pin in. I think the easiest way to do this will be if we both move over to the couch and you can sit next to me and you can see the questions on the screen. All right, so I'm going to move. Here we go. Everybody, whoa, hold on. Everything's about to get a little shaky. Bum, bum, bum. Mr. Steve is moving the cushions. Whoa, there's our blinds. There's my face, really close. Oh my gosh, it's my face. Oh my gosh, it's Mr. Steven's face. Ah, it's all our faces. Okay, so, well, okay. So let's see who is going to be playing against Mr. Steven on the Kahoot. Truffles, stop giving me toys. Okay, so I'm going to screen share now. I'm going to pull up the Kahoot for you. Okay, there it is. Share. All right, there you go. So now you should, excellent, be seeing the Kahoot screen. We're going to hit play. And we're going to do classic one-to-one playing. I just want to make sure that I don't have it on automatic. I'm going to move through the questions manually. All right, classic one-to-one player. Here we go. All right, so it's coming up and the game pin is about to come on. Okay, so let's see here. Make that full screen. All right, who is it going to be? Ooh, that's loud. Let's turn that down some. The game pin is 721 459. 721 459. 721 459. I will beat you all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have a feeling. Oh, you'll never know. Oh my goodness. I will never know who's playing against Mr. Steven. Oh no. You're so clever. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Oh, look, it's got a little Thanksgiving Kahoot. Oh, that's cute. All right, let's see here if we got any other viewers before I get started. All right, so it's still just the one viewer. So we're going to go ahead and play. Okay, and I'm not going to give any answers to Mr. Steven. So these are totally based on his rememberings from 5th grade science in the UK, which might not be the same as ours. But anyways. All right, so here we go. Are we ready? Here we go. 15 questions. Ready to review. The name for the hot, humid biome near the equator is it red, deciduous forest, or blue, tropical rainforest? The name for the hot, humid biome near the equator is the red, deciduous forest, or blue, tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforest is correct. Next question. Oh my goodness, Mr. Steven. Gotta give him a chance. Next question. The final state of succession is the red, pioneer species, or blue, climax community. The final state of succession is the red, pioneer species, or blue, climax community. Climax community is correct. Next question. A desert plant's shallow roots are an example of an symbiosis for red or blue adaptation. Red symbiosis, blue adaptation. A desert plant's shallow roots are an example of an adaptation. Okay? So remember that a desert plant's shallow roots, it's an example of an adaptation because if you are following the evolutionary line of thinking with terms to science, then you're talking about the fact that those roots stopped growing down deep when they realized their most chance for water was towards the surface, okay? So it's an adaptation. Next question. Which statement is false? Rainforest has a greater number of plants and species than tundra. Each biome has a unique climate. Desert biomes can be found all over the world, or all biomes have the same kind of soil. Which statement is false? Bum, bum, bum. Which statement is false? Very good. All biomes have the same type of soil is false. Remember that each biome has its own unique climate, soil, animals, and plants. Next question. The relationship between the yucca moths and the yucca trees is an example of, is it red, mutualism, blue, all of the above, yellow, parasitism, or green, commensalism? It is mutualism. Mutualism. Okay? So remember, it can't be both mutualism and parasitism or commensalism. Okay? Mutualism means that it is beneficial for both. Commensalism means it's beneficial for one but doesn't harm the other. And parasitism means it is beneficial for one and harms the other. Next question. The cold, treeless biome of the far north is called the red tundra or blue taiga. Not to be confused with orange and black striped big cats. Taigas. Get it? I am so funny. All right, cold, treeless biome of the far north is called the tundra. Ooh, I will beat you as hit an answer streak of 6, Mr. Steven. Next question. The relationship between the rainforest orchids and the rainforest trees is an example of, is it red, parasitism, blue, both A and C, yellow, commensalism, or green, symbiosis? Mr. Steven gave a guess and a shrug. Both A and C. Very good. I knew that a student would remember that even when it got mixed up, that I told them it was both A and C. Very good. Which, on your test, will be commensalism and symbiosis. It is not parasitism. Next question. A relationship in which one kind of organism lives in or on another organism and harms it is red parasitism or blue symbiosis. Is it red parasitism or blue symbiosis? It is parasitism. I know you're looking at that thinking, well, they're all symbiosis, okay? Because symbiosis is the overall arching topic. However, parasitism is when one organism is harmed and one is not. Next question. A sandy or rocky biome with little precipitation or plant life is called a, is it tundra or desert? A sandy or rocky biome with little precipitation or plant life called a tundra or a desert. Very good, desert. Next question. The first species to live in an otherwise lifeless area is called a pioneer species or a climax community. Look at those words. Even though we haven't gone over them in detail yet, you've got your worksheets tonight, okay? So be thinking, very good, a pioneer species, the one that goes in before anything else has. Next question. A biome with trees that lose their leaves each autumn is called a red deciduous forest or blue tundra. Red deciduous forest or blue tundra. Red deciduous forest or blue tundra. Excellent. Deciduous forest. Very good. Next question. Anything that controls the growth or survival of a population is called that red climax community or blue limiting factor. Anything that controls the growth or survival of a population is called a limiting factor. Very good. Parasitism is one kind of red desert or blue symbiosis. Parasitism, is that a desert or an example of symbiosis? Mr. Steven just whispered closer for trouble because we make her bring her ball closer because we're kind of lazy. All right, next question. The gradual replacement of a pine forest with a deciduous forest is an example of ecological. Is it red, development, blue, progression, yellow, speciation, or green, succession? Mr. Steven gave a guess on this one. We haven't gone over this yet in class, so it might be a guess for you as well, friend who's playing, but that's okay. Okay, succession is the correct answer. Okay, so a gradual replacement of one forest with another. One forest is succeeding another. It's taking over. It's moving it on. Okay, final question. Which statement is true? Red, a pioneer community is the same thing as a climax community. Blue, a climax community usually takes a year to develop. Yellow, pioneer species are always plants. Or green, climax communities stay largely unchanged unless there is a major event.
Well, now.
Well, it's short, Mr. Steven. I don't have all the space, so sometimes I have to give a little extra information in the talking. But if you're going to be cheeky and go fast, that's what you're going to end up with. No, 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 friends. Pioneer species are not always plants.
But yeah, just realizing.
All right, let's see here. Oh, you will never know. 10 out of 15. That was still very good. Probably those 5 questions you missed are the ones we have not gone over in class yet. So there is no shame in your game, my friend. All right, let's get the results here. Show your feedback. All right, so give your feedback on the game, how you felt about the learning, the feeling, and if you would recommend it or not. Give that feedback. Now, don't get off the video yet because we still have a few questions to go over, okay? All right, and we still are waiting to find out what the final excitement is that we've been strongly recommended to watch the video for. All right, so I have 2 viewers now. Hi, viewers. Okay, so there's going to be a few more questions on your test than just the ones that we went over on the Kahoot, because remember, sometimes the answers are a little too long for the Kahoot. Okay, so one of the questions you're going to be asked is going to have a table, okay? And on this table, it's going to show you all of these things, okay? Now, what I can tell you is this. We are going to go over that table tomorrow, so do not stress or worry, okay? But basically what that table is showing you is that the smaller the habitat size, the smaller the number of animals, okay? So as an ecosystem shrinks, or as a biome shrinks, or as a habitat shrinks, remember we talked about that overcrowding stuff. Remember we all crowded together when we practiced showing what it would be like and what kind of implications that would have? That's kind of what we're talking about here. So if the habitat size is getting smaller, the amount of species in it is also going to get smaller, right? It's going to affect the food webs and the food chains, okay, and the ecosystem in general. So the question is going to say, like, what relationship do you see between the species habitat and the size of the population? And what it's going to be is that as the habitat size decreases, the population in each area decreases, okay? Now, why does the rainforest have more types of organisms than the desert? We talked about that today. Okay, the reason that they have more organisms is because they have water. And water is a huge, crucial factor in making sure that organisms live. Remember, everything relies on producers. The producers need water and sun in order to grow. So the less sun that you, or the less water that you have in an area, potentially the less producers, and therefore potentially problems in the food web. And we talked about that in our notes a little bit more, okay? An island forms off the coast of Australia. What types of plants and animals would you expect to eventually live there? Will the island's ecosystem change in the years after it's formed, or will it remain the same? Again, we're going to talk about this tomorrow when we talk about pioneer species and climax communities, okay? The plants and animals that colonize the new island will probably be those that can swim or fly from Australia. The island's ecosystem will change as the organisms continue to colonize the island and succession takes place, especially if we think back to the Galapagos Islands and even the Magic School Bus that we watched about the Galapagos Islands, okay? So, how are mutualism and parasitism the same, and how are they different? Remember, they're both forms of symbiosis. They definitely both benefit one organism. Where they differ is that mutualism benefits both organisms, and parasitism only benefits one and it harms the other, okay? Name 3 main categories of fresh and saltwater organisms. Where does each category live, and what is the factor that determines the depth at which they live, okay? So let's start at the beginning. Fresh and saltwater organisms. We talked about this today in class. What is each category? So if you remember, we had plankton, necton, and benthos, okay? Where does each one live? Plankton lives at the surface, necton lives in the middle of the water and swims, and benthos is at the bottom. And the major factor affecting where they live is what? I can hear you shouting it from home. Sunlight! Very good. Okay, so sunlight. It needs it for those photosynthesis to happen for those surface plants and planktons, okay? Here's a thought for you. Now, we didn't talk about this necessarily in this time, but we've talked about it before, and we're going to talk about it in class tomorrow. One forest is cut down to build a shopping mall. Another forest is destroyed by a forest fire. Which forest is more likely to grow back and why? All right, so the forest that was cut down in order to build a shopping mall will not grow back unless the shopping mall is torn down and the area is left alone, okay? Although the other forest was damaged by fire, a new forest ecosystem will develop over time through ecological succession, okay? So when you build over it, obviously those things can't necessarily grow through, okay? But when you have something burned down and then it comes back, that's called ecological succession, the next thing that comes into that ecosystem, okay? And if you remember, one of the first things that should come in after a forest fire is a what? Moss. I know, I heard you say it too. I know, amazing, you're so smart. All right, so moss, very good. Okay, you hypothesize, last question on your test. You hypothesize, so you take an educated guess, that overcrowding is a limiting factor in the growth and survival of bean plants. Describe how you would test your hypothesis. Now, remember, we got in a tight circle and we pretended to be bean plants, right? And Elsie was down in the middle and she was like, I wouldn't get any sunlight, okay? So we talked about how this would work. We would talk about setting up two identical experiments, except that one would have a lot of bean plants planted in it, and one would only have a few bean plants. And then we would watch over time to see if the one with a lot of bean plants, what happened to it. And what would most likely happen? What would most likely happen is that those bean plants would be fighting for the limited resources in the pan, and therefore they would not grow and develop as much. Whereas this one that has more space to grow, the plants would get more sunlight, they would get more nutrients, and they would grow bigger and better. Okay? So those are all the questions on your test. Now you're thinking to yourself, why, Ms. Shea? Why did I have to come and watch this video? Here is the reason. If on Friday, without being reminded, you give me this secret motion, gobble, 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 gobble. Yes, that was a turkey. You have to do the waddler and everything. Gobble, 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 gobble. So if you give me the gobble before you walk in the classroom, you may take out your notes and use them during your test. If you walk into the classroom and you have not given me the gobble gobble, then you are not allowed to use your notes. Even if you remember it afterwards and you run outside, forfeit. So before you come into the classroom on Friday, after lunch and recess, because this is 5th grade, gotta remember, stop at the door. I will be waiting at the door. You will give me the quiet secret. Okay? Remember, anyone that doesn't watch this video does not get that clue. So, don't share it with anyone. They have to watch the video. Okay? So that is your super secret amazing treat. You can have an open note test on Friday if you remember the secret motion before you come in the classroom without remembering, without being reminded. Okay? Because I am thankful for you, and I am so thankful for the time I've had with you, and I am so excited to see you these last few days before we go our separate ways, but you'll still be able to see me online. It's going to be so amazing, and I'm going to come back and visit, so you don't need to worry. But that is why I strongly recommend that you watch this video. All right? Have a wonderful night. Review your Kahoot. I will see you tomorrow for more notes and review. We will review on Thursday, so bring your tech to class on Thursday, and then Friday is your test. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.